Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Good, the Bad, the Weird, a Korean Western action comedy from 2008 that was directed by Kim Ji-woon and stars Jung Woo-sung, Song Kang-ho, and Lee Byung-hun. Now the bad, so to speak, played by Lee Byung-hun, who is a bandit and hitman, is hired to acquire a treasure map from a Japanese official traveling by train. Before he can get it, however, the weird, played by Song Kang-ho, who is a thief, steals the map and is caught up in the bad's derailment of the train. The good, played by Jung Woo-sung, an eagle-eyed bounty hunter, appears on the scene to claim the bounty of the bad guy. So meanwhile, a group of Manchurian bandits also want the map to sell to a ghost market, and as the story continues, like an escalating battle for the map occurs, with bounties placed on heads, and even the Imperial Japanese Army racing to reclaim it. So everyone is going after this map, basically. That's your plot. So modern Asian Westerns, kind of a rare breed of film. I'm only aware of a handful of them. I mean, a few that I listed out here that I remembered kind of off the top of my head were Tears of the Black Sun, or I'm sorry, Tears of the Black Tiger, I should say, from Thailand. Sukiyaki Western Django from Japan, Wind Blast from China. Those are a few examples for you. The Good, the Bad, the Weird is not only what I believe to be the quintessential Asian Western, so to speak, but it's also probably the best South Korean action film of all time. Now, Kim Ji-woon has a very impressive resume as a director, and while A Bittersweet Life demonstrated his talent for directing action, The Good, the Bad, the Weird is an entirely different beast, due to the elaborate setups of epic shootouts involving many people and vehicles. This is not an easy step to take as a director, but he pulled it off with masterful fashion. It's so precise in how he takes that step to, like, legitimate blockbuster action set pieces. The film is basically packed with some of the best Wild West style shootouts of any film I've ever seen. I mean, there are a number of reasons for this, but the big one is Kim's camera work and directing skill. The lengthy tracking shots in particular are fantastic in this film. There's a few during the opening scene on the train. Like, for example, there's a scene where the camera's following the weird guy as he's moving through the different train compartments, and the camera's behind him as he's moving through. And a lot of stuff's going on. There's a lot of certain characters are brushing by him that'll appear later. It's like the entire sequence required precise timing, excuse me, from everyone. And it's really impressive. Then in some cases, the camera will like start in one place and then zoom in or out, or do an aerial maneuver or a high-speed helicopter crane shot. It'll do something to gradually reveal the action of another character in the same shot without an edit. I found that really impressive. And again, near the beginning of the film is a perfect example of this. You know, the good guy, the bad guy are shooting at each other on the train, and the camera pans back, and it keeps panning and panning and panning, and then all of a sudden you see the weird guy running on the sand away from the train with the mat, right? So it was interesting, like instead of just editing it and then showing the weird guy, there was one seamless shot, and the camera work in this film is freaking just amazing. It really is amazing. And it greatly benefits the action, the camera work and direction. Again, there's some scenes in this movie of some of the outstanding shootouts. The big finale is the one that I gotta mention, right? You know, you get the Japanese military, a bunch of other dudes. It's like one of my favorite action scenes of all time. If you like action films at all, you should watch this film. And then we have the all-star cast. You know, I think Jung Woo-sung is probably given the least to work with, because he's like kind of like the vanilla good guy. But since his character is such a badass, he's still fun to watch. Not very multidimensional, though. He's just a good guy. Lee Byung-hun is such a jerk as the bad guy. He's deliciously evil, though. immediately from the start of the film, and you could tell he's having fun with this role. So I really like him in this. And you have Song Kang-ho, who's very comfortable playing the weird guy, the semi-goofy weird guy. It's just perfect casting. And if you pay attention, you also get an early role from Ma Dong-suk. So it was nice seeing him in this. Now, production values, set designs, music, they're all really good in this. There is one possible negative that I would like to point out here. If you're someone who's expecting dramatic weight and classical storytelling, you might be a little disappointed in this. Despite the title, it's not a direct remake of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly from 1966. Now, it does take inspiration from that film, obviously, but The Good, the Bad, the Ugly had like a certain dramatic weight behind a lot of its characters, which took it to the next level. The Good, the Bad, the Weird is a pure action comedy at heart. It's totally successful, though, at what it's attempting to do. So, I'm just telling you, if you're expecting like a lot of dramatic weight to this, don't. Don't. This is just an action comedy spectacle, and it's great at what it's trying to do. So, I highly recommend this. Even if you don't like Westerns, you need to watch this. It's available on streaming and physical media. And as always, I will see you next time.